Hello, everybody, and welcome to Becoming Invincible podcast. I am your host, Talia, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is to reframe your mindset, challenge those limiting beliefs that you may have when you're navigating all the situations in your life. And I'm here to give you tools to help you navigate them in such a healthy way and to harness your personal power that we tend to lose along the way. So settle up, get ready, grab a coffee, and get ready for some juice in each episode as I throw you what life has thrown me and we can navigate this shit together. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. Now this episode is a good one because I've recently had conversations with a few of my online friends about this, and you definitely don't, not that you need to get warned about it, but no one tells you. No one tells you about this stuff. So this episode is literally about when you get into a healthy relationship and what you don't realize that happens. Because as much as we all want to manifest, a healthy relationship, we want to manifest the man of our dreams, we want to, manifest the life of our dreams and everything like that, right? Because it's an attraction universe. And as much as we want all those things and, we want to call them in, it's about how you hold them. All right. So I will talk about a bit about manifesting a little bit, because we all do it from day to day. We just don't give it the name. So I will talk about a little bit about manifestation. I know that some people are probably new to even that concept, so I will sort of try and break that down, and I won't go too into it, but I'll try to keep this episode nice and short and sweet. But my last mini episode, I said, was not so mini. So anyway, I will try and keep it together, but yeah, because this is just such a little topic of the ins and outs of a healthy relationship and a dynamic that no one tells you about. So it could be mini, it could be long, we don't know, but it's going to be a good episode regardless. So I appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, I appreciate everyone listening and subscribing. I really do. My podcast has been doing better than I actually thought it would. So I'm very proud and very blessed. So I appreciate you all. Now, all right, so healthy relationships. So for me, I have come out of a quote unquote domestic violence relationship. My last one was, okay, it comes under that bracket because it was emotional and mental abuse. Now, I still can't really fathom that. I feel like domestic violence is only when people lay a hand on you, but I know that is not a thing, right? So I just really wanted to preface that. But yeah, so I've come out of a toxic relationship, and it was a lot of, mental and emotional abuse, of, promises that were never kept and, love bombing and all the things, okay? And so I'm now in a relationship where it's very healthy, so healthy that I wonder, can I even be in this relationship sometimes? And I'm honest in that. And it's not because I don't want to be with him. God, he will be, honestly, if I have it my way, because you never know, right? But not putting bad shit out there. But if I had it my way, I'll be with him until I die. Honestly, fuck me. But, things do happen in life, but we don't want to consume into the bad stuff, okay? So we're not going to manifest any of that, but I am a little bit of a realist as well, so because my fear, everybody, when I say all that, is my fear is that he could literally wake up one morning and not want to be with me. And everyone is entitled to that, we all grow and change, and if you're not going to continue and grow with that person, then that can happen, because that happened for me I was in a relationship before my toxic one for 6 years. And we just grew apart. I woke up one day and I just didn't want to be with him because, he was doing things that I just were not good. But for the most part, when people are hurting in that time too, they're going to say shitty stuff, okay? So in the most part, we just weren't growing together. What we wanted, we both didn't want in the future. And then he was willing to sacrifice his needs for mine, which is no, we don't do that, okay? So note to self, we don't do that. Now, back to healthy dynamics. So literally I'm in this healthy relationship right now, and I'm just like, oh my God, like this is like such a blessing. I can't even believe that I'm in this, And so it's been a lot, okay? Because when you go from a toxic one especially, or like maybe it wasn't toxic, maybe you guys have come out of a relationship where, I don't know, it was pretty normal, you found, but you guys maybe weren't growing together, and you've gone into a healthy dynamic where you're just like, holy shit, is this person for real? So basically, my experience is that I have been triggered a lot. Like, honestly, like we've only been together for 5 months, and honestly, like I've been triggered so many times, like freaking hell, like honestly, that I'm just like, what the hell? I have never been triggered so much in my life. And sometimes by saying that, we haven't been, when we get triggered by somebody, we ultimately want to use the negative mindset and go, oh, well, you're triggering me, so that means you're not the one, so bye. And that we're so quick to do that. And I really want you guys to take from this episode, if not anything at all, just this, is that no, just because someone triggered you does not mean that the relationship is shit, that they're shit, or there's a problem. All right? Like, definitely not. Because we get so locked into that, like, oh shit, as soon as someone wrongs us, oh shit, like this, you must not be the one, or you're going to be another toxic person. We're so quick to judge them that they're a human fucking being. Okay, and I really want to preface this, like, they've had an experience that is so different to yours, and you've had an experience so different to them. And if you accidentally, God forbid, for be a human, and you say the wrong thing, then would you want your person to go, oh yeah, well, you're not for me then? My person would never say a thing like that. And then we can definitely get into that spiral of like, well, my person wouldn't do that to me. My person wouldn't do that to me, blah, blah, blah. And we forget that this person is still going to be a human being that has a whole different experience in life than you. And so we're so quick to judge people, I fucking know it. People judge me. How did you not know in your toxic relationship? How did you not know to get out? Why didn't you get out sooner? Like, your poor kids. And it's like, well, when you're in it as well, I have a different episode on this. It might be released before this one, maybe after this one. But anyway, when you're in it, you can't see. You either can't see, but in my perspective, I could see. I just didn't feel confident, or I didn't feel I could speak up in that moment. Like, I really was like, holy shit, like I actually have no idea what to do. And so I'll just kind of sit here in the comfortable hell that I'm in, because it's more comfortable, obviously, being comfortable hell than it is being in an uncomfortable heaven, right? Because that's foreign. So we definitely go into that. So that coincides with being in a healthy relationship as well. So for me, as much as like I've been triggered so much, he's been triggered so much, we trigger each other. It's about working through what caused that. And it's about working through going, okay. And obviously, I know, guys, those of you that have been listening for a while, you will know that I call triggers as activations. But anyone who's new here, I feel like triggering, you guys will all kind of know what that word is. So anyway, I call it activation. I feel like it just sounds better instead of like, oh, they triggered you. It makes it sound like demonized, right? So anyway, so when you both are getting activated, right? So you're trying to work out, okay, so where did this come from? Because when we get activated, when we can get activated with our family, with our parents, with our friends, it's not just your partner, okay, your spouse. It's really not just them. It's anyone. And so when we do get activated, what that means is that somebody has just activated a part in you that in your past has played out a lot. And someone's wounded you with, essentially, okay? I don't want to lose people here. Anyway, so when you're working through an activation that go, oh, that doesn't feel right, we then go in the mind of, you're making me feel this way. When it's not, they've upset you, yes, but it's now caused you to go back to a time where that has happened. So for me, I will keep our relationship quite private because he's a private person and obviously you guys don't really want to hear it. But we had a fight, and so in that fight, what happened is that we both got activated in our own way. And he got, I wouldn't say one got activated more than the other, because I was going to say he probably did more than me, but I do feel like we probably both did. We just went into two different stories. So the way he got activated was it literally was flashbacks from what he's experienced in his life, and it took him to that place again. And so when we get activated and it takes us to that place again, it means we haven't worked on that properly yet. And it takes time to work on that. So again, you're not broken. It just takes a while. Okay? And so for me, it took me to a place that he didn't say anything. I read the message in a way that was said to me in the past. And so I went back to that place of being like, oh my God, like I used to get told that all the time, that I'm fucking crazy pants, right? And so I literally thought he was calling me that. And I'm like, I'm not crazy. And I literally just snapped. And so it took me to a different time. It took him to a different time, right? That's generally what happens in your dynamic. And so it's whether you work on it how you choose to. And how you choose to is whether you really take ownership on like, okay, so this has happened in my past. Now, is she going to be that same, is she going to play out like how it all happened in my past? Or is she going to be different? Vice versa. I'm like, he thinks I'm absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not crazy. My feelings are so valid. Is he going to be like how I've experienced where my feelings aren't valid? And is he going to never understand me or try to understand me? So that's where we both went, right? And so when this can happen in healthy relationships, the reason why when you see reels on Instagram or something like that, and people make them where it's like, oh, people want to self-sabotage. Your self-sabotage is literally basically it can be not owning your activation. So when you've been triggered, right, essentially, when you don't own it, that it's come from someone else and you've actually chosen to blame that person because they're the one that activated that, that's how you self-sabotage, because it's actually not their fault. Nobody wants to hurt you. All right? I said it on one of my episodes. I think it was about dating after a toxic relationship. In that episode, I say, literally, no one, any human being that is on a normal capacity, because nothing's normal in the world, but doesn't want to hurt you. No one is out to get you. Never. We're all acting from what we know how, because we've all lived a different life. So I knew because I'm an overthinker, so I went into so many different stories and I spiraled massively in my mind. And once I got out of that and I really was like, I need to meditate because I need to quieten my mind. It's so busy and there's so many stories going that I don't even know. It's that quick that I didn't even realize. And for him, however it worked out for him, right? So you either choose to go, okay, I need to work on this. There's a reason why this has happened, because every time you get activated in your relationship, it brings you both closer together, as long as you're choosing to work on it. So, that's not like the only time. You don't have to have a fight to be activated, by the way. Like, he will literally say something sometimes, or he won't say enough things, because sometimes I need to be, a bit more reassured. It really depends on the situation, and he doesn't know that. And so, and I've gone into a full activation and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, is this real? What is this trying to tell me? So, and then you sort of work on it and you work on getting your nervous system regulated. So every time you get activated, you're trying to relax your nervous system, because the more your nervous system can handle that, the more you're going to be able to hold more. And what I mean by holding more is that if you want your dream partner, if you want a healthy relationship, to be able to hold that relationship and actually see it through and be in that healthy relationship, there's going to be things that come up to help you grow. And by that, it's an activation. You will have fights, things will try to tear you guys apart. Like, honestly, like for me, there's been certain things that happen or that's been said that could easily have been for me that I've been like, I just know I can't do this. But for me, I was like, okay, well, I really like you, and I want to really work through this. So, okay, let's try and work on it. So when I would work on things, as much as they're so uncomfortable, it's about when you work through it, your body will literally feel relief. And so the next hurdle that you face, it won't be as bad, because every time you're just slowly expanding your nervous system to be able to handle when the shitty times happen. So, and if a lot of the time when we self-sabotage as well, we're so used to being hurt that it's like, okay, well, I don't know, you could say something wrong by accident because you're a human being, and then all of a sudden the other person's like, oh, well, why did you say something like that? Or they're not quite understanding where you're coming from. And then you could literally self-sabotage, like, aka me. I've done this because I have an abandonment wound, right? Where I feel like everyone abandons me because that's what's happened in my life, whether it's emotionally, physically. And so when, he's not understood, or like he said something, and then just like, well, you know what? That's right. Told you. He's just going to leave. Everyone gets fucking bored and everyone leaves me. So, yep, this is what's going to happen. So when you're having that story, you then could, say or do something to push them away. And you don't actually want that to happen, but that's just a reflex because you've been hurt so badly in the past. But it's allowing you to stop that. It's trying to be like, you know what, no, because that person isn't your punching bag. You shouldn't have to throw knives at them and they've got to like dodge or catch or block because every single time. Because you need to take ownership that what comes up for you, right? And nobody ever tells you this in a healthy dynamic. No one ever does. Like, I swear to God, I manifested my partner because I wrote what I wanted in a guy, every different attributes and everything like that. Like I say in that dating episode that I get you guys to do that same exercise. And when I did that, like literally, you write the list and everything like that, but then you just tuck it away. I don't sit there going on like when I was on Hinge being like, oh, buddy, you missed that checkpoint. No, it was never like that. I just kind of wrote the list. That's what I want. And I just was like, cool, we'll just see what happens. And literally with my partner now, I read that list because I found it and I was like, oh my God, this is the list. Like, how funny. And literally he ticks like pretty much everything on there. Not absolutely everything because he's human. He's not an alien. But like, honestly, pretty much everything. I was like, holy shit. And so that's what I'm saying is like, we can manifest people, but it's about holding them. It's about, well, can you handle your manifestation? We want the Mercedes or we want the BMW, but can you handle that? And handling it is by, well, are you going to be able to fork out the money to pay for that service? Are you going to be able to fork out the money to get it insured? Paying for fuel. We just think the car will be great, but it's like as soon as it needs to be serviced, fuel, insurance, rego, all that, we're just like, holy shit, I can't think about that kind of money because you haven't decided to expand your nervous system to be able to go, yep, I can handle that. Like, ouch. But you know what? I love this car and it needs to be serviced, or I love this car and it needs to have fuel in, all the things, to be able to have that. So it's about, can you handle your manifestations? So it's like sort of the same thing. And no one ever, I just really wanted to pretty much make it in this episode that it's like, no one ever told me that, oh yeah, you know what, you deserve someone so healthy and to treat you right and to love you. Because my friends have just watched me absolutely just, go through it, right? And so, and like all of us, like I'm sure all of your friends have watched you go through it some way or like one way or another. Now, what I really believe with when I say, oh, I manifested him, it wasn't so much just a list, but with his history and with my history, I really kind of believe, and it's kind of God forbid if anyone that knows him listens to this and is like, oh my God, Talia. But honestly, I feel like there's probably nobody, or like really limited people, because, it's like billions of people in the world. But I really feel like there's only like a small percentage that would actually be able to handle and be able to be with him. and he's not a problem. Okay, just really want to say that. He ain't a problem. He's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. I just mean to have an understanding, an open understanding about his past. Because I say the same about me. You know, like when I was on Hinge, people would just be like, what the fuck? Or like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. No. Like, you know, and be like, but bye. You know what I mean? So you can get judged so quickly on your past, and that's what happened to me a lot. And so that's why I'm like, okay, well, I feel like it only takes like a few people to really understand my past, because a lot's happened. And same for him, a lot's happened for him. And I feel like, you know, it really takes a lot of people to have like an open mind, you know. So that's why I really believe that we're each other's person, because we're able to hold each other and be able to understand each other and to love each other, knowing our history, because it's a very unusual history. You know what I mean? And we just know what that's like, because it's similar in different ways. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying here is that no one ever tells you that it's going to be hard when you reach a healthy relationship. Okay? And so those of you that might be like, oh, okay, like how I don't want it. It's like, you definitely do want it. You don't want someone that treats you like fucking shit, who literally doesn't give a shit about you, that will love bomb you and leave you later. Like, honestly, you don't want that. You don't need that. No one has time for that. That's exhausting. And who wants to even, I don't know, receive that, right? So it's just, in a healthy dynamic, don't get scared of them. It's just, everyone makes it out like, oh, when you know, you know. You definitely do. Like, I knew my partner early on. Like, so I've known him longer than what we've actually been together. Like, so we're in August now. So yeah, so I've known him for 8 months. Actually known him, and we've talked, you know. But we weren't like dating or anything at the start, because obviously that's like how it all goes, right? But it got to a point for me where I was like, well, I know what we have and what I can see how this can go. And I'm like, and that's what I'm looking for. But if you're not there yet, that's fine. You know, if stars align again, then we'll come back into each other's life. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know, I have a great life. And like, I just want you to be happy. And so I was like, okay, I can't do this casual anymore. And so I left. And then he had some time, and then he reached out and was like, hey, like, no, I really do want what you want. You know what I mean? And so, bing, here we are. And so it takes an understanding of what you truly want as well. But everyone goes, when you know, Talia. And I totally get that, because I very much knew. I was like, I fucking know. And like, you're not there yet. And I just can't put myself through that. I'm a woman. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and I was trying to respect him where he was at as well. So, because I hadn't completely knew everything, you know. So I was like, okay, well, we're in like different books right now. So, this has been fun, and I really appreciate meeting you, but I'm gonna love and leave you. You know what I mean? So, and in doing that, I knew what I want, and I was choosing me in that moment. But then I was also choosing him because I didn't want to, you know, not be strung along, but like, I didn't want to keep going where we were at, where I wanted more. And I didn't want him to feel like, oh God, she's like got feelings for me, and I'm just like so not there, because I'm detached, and that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because men can detach more. And so I was like, yeah, okay, I know where this goes, but like, this is where I'm at. And then it's okay to do that. I feel like as well, like sometimes we can get into dating situations where it's like, oh yeah, but he's so lovely. What happens if I don't find someone any better? And you can't think like that. Like I said, there's billions of people in the world. And yes, I'm probably very up myself to say I'm the only woman for him. You know what I mean? But like, at the same time, no, because I know who I am, and I know who he is, and we work so fucking well, and we'll just live happily ever fucking after. Like, you know, so there's no shame in saying that either. But again, yes, there is billions of people in the world. So if I died, you know, I want him to move on and find someone else, because life is too short. But it's just like, it only takes a few people to really understand our situations, is what I'm saying. And so when you in that situation of like, yeah, but what if I don't find anyone that's better? It's like, you fucking will. And I said that, I don't say it anymore, but I would say that to my partner now all the time. Like, just so you know, I don't want you to be with me, because again, self-sabotage. And I'd be like, just want you to know that don't just be with me because you're scared that you won't find someone else that's good as well. Because you fucking will. And because I definitely made a promise to myself a long time ago that I would never get into a relationship where I would I'll just put up with stuff. Like, we're just cruising. Like, oh yeah, this is convenient. That's it. That's the word. So I said to myself, I'd never be in a relationship that it's convenient, because I was so scared that I would be alone forever, or I was so scared that I wouldn't find somebody. I'm here to tell you, you will find someone else, okay? Because you have to have the mentality, and I hope we all understand when I say this, but it's either that person, him or her, if guys are listening to this, it's either them or someone better. And I tell you, when you have that reframe in your mind, it's a game changer, because that's what I had. I was like, oh, if it's not him, well, then it's someone better. I literally pined over someone for so long, and I couldn't work out why. I attached myself to him, and I felt like there was some sort of energetic cord or something. It wasn't like I really wanted to be with him. It was like we had a really good friendship. But for some reason, I just had this, like, I don't know. I was like, there's something about him. I can't fucking shake him, and I don't know why. And it wasn't until, like, I really did some more work on myself where I found that obviously I was latching onto someone because I had that story but I don't think I'm ever going to find someone who is nice like him, because he had come into my life just after everything with the girl's dad, like, / sperm donor. So, yeah, like, he had just come in after that. So I was like, I just couldn't. And even after, like, we weren't talking and everything like that, still had this fucking tie. And it actually annoyed me, because I was like, why? I don't fucking, like, we're living our own lives now. Like, what the fuck? And I saw him actually again on my birthday. And I think that helped, because I was able to sort of be like, okay, like, how funny how the world works. But I was like, I'm good to just not, like, I'm just, I don't know. It was kind of like a reassurance of, like, cool, like, you're a good person and all, but, like, no. And it's about working on yourself, working out where things play out as well. You know what I mean? So that was ages ago now, like almost over a year ago, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, where sometimes, as in, like, when I saw him, because my birthday's in September and we're in August, so it was a year, like, last year's my birthday, I saw him again. But it was, like, literally, I think, earlier, like, last January, not this year, but in 23. That was when we stopped, like, talking. So that was, like, a good 9 months, like, later, you know what I mean? So yeah, and, like, it's not until you really work on yourself and you go, oh my God, that's what I was doing, because I literally had that story being like, oh yeah, but I don't know if I will find someone better, and you will, because I couldn't even imagine my partner now. Like, fuck, I didn't even know people like him existed. Like, you have no idea. Like, so I'm here to tell you that it fucking will be someone better. Because even when I was in the dating game and I was talking to all these other guys, no one compared to him. And then when it got to a point for me, I was like, you know what? I have to go, because no one compares to you, and you're just not even in that mind frame. And I know where this could go, and this could be absolutely something special. But I know, being a man, he's not even in that realm, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, bye. And then you never know what can happen. I'm not saying that every person you say, okay, goodbye to, they're going to come back. So don't even be in that mentality. It's just about truly letting go. And it took me a bit with my coach to do that, because I was like, oh gosh, it came up again, the story. Because again, as much as you work through stuff, they can come back around again to teach you again. Because when things come back around, it's to allow you, oh, have you truly worked on that? It like, sort of like, it's like life trying to test you. Are you sure that you have healed that part of you? Okay, so it's like that. So when it came back around of that story, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get someone better, my coach was like, remember, Tiles, you've worked on this. And I'm like, yep. Yep, I fucking will. If it's not you, it's someone better. And then it turns out it was him for me, right? In my case, because he came back. And so I'm not saying that they're going to come back, but like it's about finding that person, because it's like how everyone says, and however you read it, is like, oh, when you, what's it called? When you meet the person that you're meant to be with, no matter what obstacles that happen, you'll always be together, right? That's what they say. Obviously, I agree with that, but to a degree, because yes, I do believe if two people are meant to be together, they will be together. 100%. I believe in that. But also, even though, yeah, they're meant to be together, but if you're gonna sit there and just self-sabotage and like abuse them, like, you know, and you don't mean to do this as well, by the way, I will say, like, you'll just kind of self-sabotage, and like, because when you self-sabotage, you don't realize that's what you're doing, and it just takes for you guys to really understand where you both are at and how it came up for you to work through that, right? It's always the repair in any situation, like any activation, any like fight you may have, even if that's with a friend or with family. It's always about the repair. How do you repair that? And if there's no repair, then there's not going to be a relationship or a friendship or whatever. Family is different, we're all blood, right? But you know what I mean? So, yeah, so I'm just saying as well that it's about the repair. How do you guys work on it? That's what tests and makes couples, right? And so with this whole episode that I don't want to drain on for long, because I pretty much said all the good stuff, really. So basically, my God, I can't even speak. In conclusion here, all right, I want you guys to take away is that if it's not them, it's someone better. Okay, because 100% it will be someone better. Like, and it's not in a horrible way either. You know, everyone is a beautiful person in their own way, okay? And we all have love for people and everything like that, 100% to a degree, right? But when you're going like it's either him or someone better, it's either her or someone better, because you don't want to sit in, but there's always going to be someone better, because then you're thinking in your mind, oh, the grass is always greener, and you're never going to water what you already have, and you're never going to get what you want, right? So when you're saying to yourself, it's either them or someone better, it's about assessing what's happening. What are you going to stand for? What are you not going to tolerate? Like, are they overstepping your boundaries? Are they treating you in a way? Are they saying something? If they're saying something, just say to them, hey, I really appreciate if you would say this instead or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's all about communication as well. Like, communication is absolute key. And I'm not a fucking relationship expert here. I'm literally just sharing my experience and what has really helped. Okay? So that's takeaway 1. And takeaway 2 is, you know, never lose sight of yourself. All right? Because I don't want people to think you've got to be someone else to keep a person, because you definitely don't. Again, the right person will like love you for you, okay? They won't want to change you. You know, I don't want to change my partner. There's nothing wrong with him. Yes, there's things that I know that might annoy me, but it doesn't mean I want him to change. Like, god damn, I probably annoy him so much. I'm like so annoying. Like, honestly. But he just, I don't know, I can't speak for him, but you know, he wouldn't just put up with it, but he would just accept me for me. You know what I mean? So it's about assessing in front of you, like, who that person is and what they're doing. All right? And so don't lose yourself and just be yourself. All right? No one shines brighter than someone living in their own light. That is from Brad Fennell. So he's amazing. He's an amazing coach. And I love that saying. All right? So definitely, keep with that. And takeaway 3 is the fact that when you get into a healthy relationship, it ain't going to be roses and sunshine all the damn time, because your relationship is there to test you. And it's not testing you in a horrible way. It's testing you of like, do you guys have what it takes to work through every situation? How is the repair going to be? If you have children with someone, like we have kids, he has kids and I have kids, what are you willing to model to them? Your kids are always watching. And instead of staying stuck in a relationship where you're like, oh, well, this is just convenient, you're modeling to your kids that a convenient relationship is the right relationship. Or you're modeling to your kids that, being loveless is the key when it's not. You know what I mean? So you, like, as much as it can feel, like I said before, a comfortable hell overrides an uncomfortable heaven, but you don't want your children to think a comfortable hell is normal. Okay? Like, it's good for our kids to see, like, I allow my girls to watch me cry. Because as far as I know, my mum does not cry. Even to this day, I haven't seen her cry. Even when my dad passed away, she would cry in her room. Like, she would cry without us. So, I think my mum doesn't cry. Obviously, as an adult, I know she does. But I've never seen my mum cry, even to this day. Never seen her express emotions other than anger or frustration. Because she took it out on me when I was a kid. She did the best that she knew how, by the way. Don't shame her for that. But I'm just saying, it's really important for our kids to understand, and when we have a clear communication with them as well. So I want my girls to know what a healthy relationship looks like. I mean, I'm not saying that you fight in front of your kids because, but if you had a bit of a disagreement, also show that what's the repair. Like, if you have a tiff in front of your kids, totally fine. Because a tiff is different to a fight, by the way. But if you have like a little bit of a disagreement and you're just like, and you're just a bit frustrated at each other, I feel like that's good for kids to see. And then you also make sure that you make up while your kids are watching, like as in like where they can see you. Because you want your kids to understand that, okay, you can be frustrated at each other, that's normal. But also it's the repair on like, okay, they love each other again. Okay, it's about what are you modeling to your children, right? So there's all these factors here. So really want to say that because no one ever told me that fucking a healthy relationship will trigger you or activate you or, will test you. Like, honestly, because I've actually been so wound up in a story. Like, the reason why I did this episode is because I've been so wound up in the story once that I literally was like, oh my God, is he the person for me? And it's not because I looked at it, him being like, oh, shame on him. The reason why I would say, oh my God, is he the person for me, is because I would feel like I don't know if I can handle this. Okay, so as much as we can be like, oh fuck, I don't know if this relationship's for me, check back in with yourself, because I can guarantee you're actually feeling, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, am I as equipped for a healthy relationship than I think? And that's come up a lot where when I've been activated, and every activation does not come with a fight, just saying. So don't want you guys to think like that either, like, oh my God, you've had so many activations, so that means you guys have fought a lot. No, we've only had like 2 fights and we're in 5 months in. And even with the 2 fight thing, he says that, I'm like, okay, well, one was a disagreement and the other one was a fight. Like, I feel like we've only fought once, but hey, we agree to disagree, so that's fine. But, what is it called? But yeah, like, we've only like fought twice in 5 months. It's normal to fight. It's just not normal to fight all the damn time, right? So, and it's not normal to never fight, by the way. There should be something, there should be some sort of like disorganized thing there. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so I just really want to clarify all that with you guys, because this episode is not a mini one again, anyway, whatever. But it is such a good one because it's just a reframe. And then if you ever need to, just re-listen to the episode, because I do that with so many of my podcasts I listen to, because there's so much in a podcast that you don't retain all the information. You stop retaining information after 40 minutes or something. And so, listening again, I feel like I get so many different points every time I listen. So just do that, because you might find that might be a thing for you guys. So I always encourage that. But honestly, you're not broken. No one's more sexy than someone standing in their own light, by Brad Fennell. Okay. And honestly, really healthy relationships are hard, but they're not hard because they're toxic or that person's making it hard. It's hard because you've got to face your own shit. So just want to clarify. But I appreciate you guys listening to this. I appreciate when you guys share or like and subscribe my podcast and everything like that. You can follow me on social media for more inspirational stuff, which is mainly Instagram. I'm not really too much on Facebook about it because I get judged so much on Facebook, but I do need to override that fear and just post on Facebook no matter what. But I will see you guys again in another episode, and I hope you have a beautiful day.